Live from the Base Room Studio 3.0 in Seattle, Washington, this is the Podworm Spacecast. The Podworms are 7 lifelong friends who, just like your mom, are hoes. Yes, they are hoes. Welcome to the Spacecast.
That's so well written.
I really love that you pay service to our friends, our fans that are just chaining these episodes together. A little callback.
Yeah, they're binging.
If you're binging, yep.
Well, you know the best ones come to you in the moment, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
Chase?
That's exactly right. And also, your mom's a hoe.
Your mom's a hoe. You heard it here first. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Podworm Spacecast. We are so excited to have you back with us for another episode. And let me introduce to you the gentleman here on the show today. We have one half of the Deadly Brother duo. It's Kevin McCoy.
Got that box wine Chardonnay.
We have DJ, producer, and ex-homecoming king. It's Chase Golka.
Hold on. Ex-homecoming king. Once a homecoming king, always a homecoming king, Andrew. I'll tell you what. When I got that crown, what they had me do was write my name on the inside with a Sharpie, and in there I could see all the other names of the other kings. And so I am forever
All the way back to King Arthur.
Yeah, exactly. I'm forever a homecoming king. And don't you ever. Okay, I'm gonna pull back a second, but also, you know, I'm a homecoming king forever, and you're a little pleb, and that's all I have to say.
Oh, that just screams insecurity.
We have the bad boy of Bothell. It's Phil Williams.
No longer bad boy of Bothell. I put my Bothell days behind me. I'm over it. I'm now in the ex-bad boy of Bothell.
I thought once
a bad boy of Bothell, always a bad boy of Bothell.
Didn't you sign the crown or something?
Well, they always keep a chair open for me at the bar there. You know, it's like Elijah, in case I ever decide to come back, but it's not my main base anymore.
All the way back to bad boy Arthur.
And I am the low-hanging fruit, Andrew LeClaire. And I'm feeling kind of peachy today, like a little peach. We got a great show.
As peaches feel.
Phil has a story about a hilarious reply all situation that happened at his workplace. Kevin tried to register a national day, and we have a round of the sports game World of Warcraft edition to round out the episode. So stay tuned. Before we get to that, I was down in California for a few weeks, as you know, if you listen to the show, and you do. You're a space fan.
That.
Kevin didn't know that. Well, he did know that, but he didn't know enough to care to invite me to go get high with him and go look at the dead bodies and smell cancer.
I will say this. I did see that you were calling into the last episode. I was not present, but I just figured you were being lazy. And so I quit out the episode because if Pod Daddy's not there in the flesh, I'm not interested.
Couldn't bother to make it in person. I wanted to, but the flight home was too expensive and they wouldn't do it for me. I was in California and I didn't get a rental car. And I was there for 2 weeks. So I had to take a lot of Lyft. I didn't actually take Uber. I just say Uber. I don't know why. I took Lyft every single time. And it was actually cheaper. And the people were all great. They got me there safely. It was interesting though. I had a real 50-50 chance of either being able to have my ride in peace, or I could tell within the first 20 seconds of getting in the Lyft if the person was looking to chat. And I don't know if it's a strategy to try and get like a better tip, if you have a nice conversation with the person, get a little bit of empathy going, or if they just like chatting with people and they're bored during the day. And that was my guess.
I got to imagine it's just to keep you sane driving all day. Like I was in a silent car and the guy didn't even have music on one time. And it was like a 20-minute drive and he just silently drove me. And I was just like, dude, if that was my whole damn day, I would just want to end it.
Yeah.
Like I would either want to talk to somebody or I need to at least have tunes on.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that like let you pick your own tunes.
Right. Well, so I was there for 12 days, 2 trips a day. So I have a fairly large sample size. I mean, not compared to some people, but like 24 trips in 2 weeks.
I play a pretty fun game whenever I lift solo is a Clue. Pick your personality. So maybe I'm Colonel Mustard one day and maybe Miss Scarlet the next.
Oh, I want to give Miss Scarlet a ride.
Oh yes, you do, because I pretend to be like an architect. Shout out George Costanza.
Big shout out to fictional George Costanza.
Yeah,
That's his,
this makes me
Art
really-
Vandelay. That's his alter ego. He always pretends to
okay.
be an architect. But again, I'm never going to see this random Lyft driver. So I'm like, yeah, I tame lions at the Cirque du Soleil. And they're like, really? That's crazy. I'm like, oh yeah, they're all over me. But once you know their sweet spots.
So you just practice lying for 30 minutes?
yeah, it's fun.
That does sound fun.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
I want to create a character.
It
and
sounds pretty fun.
I want to make my life sound as sad as possible and like be really excited about things that just would also make them sad. Like being really excited that like this is a good week because at home I got a full box of Otter Pops
Great week. Great week.
saved up for a month.
You'd be like, Grandma finally died, so I get the rest of the duplex.
Congrats. But the interesting thing is you can really tell, because I had about a third of those drivers, surprisingly, no music, complete silence.
Wow, really?
Complete silence, yeah. And some of them were okay with silence and we just rode in silence. But the trick is that I always made sure when I got picked up, I had my earbuds in. And so people would know I'm listening to music, doing my thing. So the pressure's off of them. They don't have to start a conversation with me. I'm good. I'm covered, right? Like I have my
Right.
entertainment. I'm good. You can listen to your music, talk on the phone, read Twitter. Just get me there safely. All right. I'm not the police.
Read Twitter.
I'm not. I'm not going to give you a bad rating as long as I get there.
If anyone cares that their driver reads Twitter, I gotta imagine it's you.
I would care if they're reading
Yeah,
Twitter
I would care.
while driving.
Yeah. I definitely would.
To turn a look at the other side of the coin, I have had some lying Lyft drivers before. Which
Oh, definitely. I've had that before too.
I had this guy who drove me to a Mariners game once be like, oh yeah, one time Macklemore got in my car and then he was like super chill and we drove around for like all day. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure Macklemore like penciled in like chill with random Lyft driver all afternoon.
All day.
Yeah. Well, what do you think these drivers saying on their podcast about you?
Well, probably like I just drove around this amazing architect lion tamer and he was just the best.
Awesome guy.
You know, it'll be funny though, in like 3 months when Macklemore's sequel to Thrift Shop comes out called like In My Uber. And he's like done months of
He
research
does like
for
a
it.
shout out and the Lyft driver does like a verse on it.
The music videos entirely from the backseat of the Uber.
No need to buy a car.
Lyft will take you far.
I have my iPhone in my pocket.
oh my God.
So unlike you, I cannot lie. I cannot tell a lie, much like Abraham Lincoln. And so
I thought that was George Washington.
was it? I don't remember. It was one of those guys. One of those
Same thing. Same
dead guys. And so I would basically defer back to, by the end of this whole trip, I had a script down where I knew how to start the conversation, where to take it, and how to get them started so that they could carry the conversation and I wouldn't really have to small talk. And so what I would do is first I'd let them know that I'm from Seattle. And they'd say like, oh, so you're going to a hotel, you're not going back to your house. Yeah, I'm from Seattle. Oh, Seattle. Heard it really rains there a lot, right? So you get the classic Seattle conversation. What do people think about Amazon? Oh, yeah, Jeff Bezos. That guy ruins everything. So much
Classic.
traffic.
Especially marriages.
Classic.
Exactly.
Hey.
So I get to run through my old Seattle script. Just, yep, real cloudy.
Starbucks, huh?
Starbucks in every corner. You wouldn't believe it. And so they're doing their best act, interested in all this just mundane bullshit. But then I get to flip the script on them because I've been talking about Seattle. And I'm like, well, the Bay Area is not much better. I mean, this is only a place where you can say that a house costs $2 million and people don't even bat an eye. You know, that whole thing like, oh yeah, this place is so expensive. So then we get the whole, wow, the Bay Area is a really expensive
I
script.
love it. Housing prices, right?
Dude, I love the housing prices conversation because I am nowhere near a homeowner. So I just get to pretend like it affects me at all.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's going to be a while till I can put a down payment in Cap Hill. It's like, no.
Yeah. And so all of them have lived there for a while. And because here's the thing is that I am not besmirching anybody who drives Lyft or Uber. Like it's a fine way to make money for like a full-time job or part-time, whatever. But most of the time, you're probably not going to have somebody who's working their day job as like a Facebook software engineer also driving Uber. And so the people I'm assuming who are driving Uber probably don't love the fact that the place they've lived for 30 years has been taken over by yuppie engineers and they can't afford to make their down payment in their house anymore. Or down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I would always try and get on that side of things because they're picking me up from a building that's adjacent to a Google building. And I'm not working for Google, but that's what they assume. And so I have to just assure them right away, I'm on your side, right? And so I'm saying stuff like, yeah, I could never afford to live here. This is crazy. And so they know that I'm one of them, right? And then we get into the Bay Area's really expensive conversation. And that would then usually take us back to the hotel. So between, the Seattle chat, the Bay Area chat, that would usually cover the distance. And I deferred to that conversation probably no less than 6 or 7 times. Anytime somebody started a conversation, because it'll start with you in the first 30 seconds you getting in. Oh, where are you going? It begins. The people who don't want to talk to you, they just say, hey, how you doing? Good. Silence. Okay, thanks for the ride. Boom, done. The weirdest ride I had was the one that happened to be the longest. Of course, because I'm trapped in the car for 50 minutes going to the airport back on my way back home.
Yeah.
And so I'm going from the office to SFO and we're sitting in traffic and it's a super, super, very Russian guy. Like he...
Super, very Russian guy.
Yes. He had only lived...
Was that a Russian accent?
I don't know what it was.
It was an Asian tourist who also happened to be in the Russian Uber.
Number one.
You number one super Russian American Uber driver.
You know what? We're leaving that in because it's just too funny.
Yeah, it's good.
It offends all races.
Yeah, it's all equal. So he actually lived in the Ukraine and he moved about 3 years prior to me taking his Lyft to the airport. And
that's how he marks his life. He's like 3 years ago, moved to SF. 3 years later, gave this guy an Uber ride. 1 more year, had my first child.
1 year after the Uber ride. That's what all
it was a watershed moment in his
that's
life.
how he marks his life.
About 13 years before the Uber ride, I remember I was in middle school.
When did we have Alexi? Oh yeah, 1 year after that Uber ride.
But the dude pulled up in a Lexus. It was a pretty nice car. And so I'm just trying to talk to him and figure out like, what's your story? And he maintained the strongest eye contact I've ever seen from somebody who's driving a car.
How?
I'm in the back seat.
Like through the rearview mirror?
His rearview mirror was not even pointed out the back of the car. It was pointed directly where the passenger of the Lyft would sit.
Oh, I've had that before too.
Where just direct eye contact into my soul. And he's maintaining where I'm concerned he's going to rear end somebody because he will not take his eyes off of my eyes during this conversation. And he does not speak much English, but we're getting a conversation across. But I have to keep it at a level where we can actually maintain the conversation. But he kept calling me sir. And he kept saying sir probably after every 7th word. And so this is a very formal, very strong eye contact.
Super formal.
Kind of conversation with a Russian guy. And I'm very afraid of saying the wrong thing to this very, very formal, very super eye contacty Russian guy. I want to make it to the airport alive. And he was actually a very nice guy, but just the intensity, it put me under so much pressure. Like I was sweating by the time I got out of the car because I was like, I have to maintain this small talk with this guy who doesn't speak much English or else.
Or else.
And let me say,
what?
the script, it did not work.
Oh,
It
no.
did not work. I mean, we talked about Seattle, but I ran out of things to talk about. And we couldn't really talk about
Was he
the
just
Bay
like,
Area.
No, the Bay Area, it's reasonable.
Well,
No, I found a good spot here.
Well, because
no big deal.
Well, because with everybody else, they're like, oh yeah, the Bay Area is so fucking expensive. Goddamn software companies. And with him, he's like, I come from a small town in Ukraine where there's so much poverty and so on and so forth. And I was like, what do you say to this guy? He's like, damn, dude, that sucks.
Moving on up.
Yeah. It's like, well, gotta go. Yeah. I guess the bottom line here is that if you're going to take a Lyft, you got to prepare a script for people who live in the area around you, and then also a script for people who are from Ukraine. And you might want to get some of their big towns and cities listed down somewhere so you can start a conversation.
Yeah, don't get in another Uber without these scripts.
You can be like, Russia, a bunch of assholes, right? You know what I mean?
So what do you think about Vladimir Putin, huh?
Crimea, you know, should have been yours, huh?
Bet you're still salty about that, huh?
You should try this next time. Next time he says something and you're just like done with the conversation, just go, yeah, and then like look out the window and just go, Rosa.
They'll be like, oh, this guy's having a moment. I shouldn't say anything.
I'll remember that one for the next time.
Yeah.
All right. Where are we? Oh yeah, right. Phil,
That's my name.
you work in a corporate environment.
I work for a mega national monolith. An institute.
Mega National?
Mega national.
Listen,
that
AKA
means it's national, but they don't give a fuck. They're in all sorts of business.
I'll let you give him a free plug. What's the name of the company?
State Farm.
Oh, all right. I've heard of them.
Email me if you want some insurance. I'll gladly sell it to you.
Perfect.
Are you a good neighbor?
Well, I just moved in here, so my neighbor barometer's fairly neutral right now. We haven't done anything too good or bad.
Phil is a good neighbor. Just the other day, this gentleman came up to our house and knocked on the door and was like, hey, can my daughter set up a lemonade stand? And he said, go right ahead. So I feel like that's pretty neighborly.
Wow.
That is neighborly. You know what? I
example.
realized the bar is really low to be a good neighbor because all you have to do is be there.
Yeah.
Just be there and don't be a dick. Don't be like, lemonade stand. You can go fuck yourself. That's my corner.
Okay.
I'm on there every weekend with my lemonade stand.
Yeah. To follow up though, after they did their lemonade stand, later on we decided to go out. I don't know where we were going. We were going somewhere, grocery shopping or something, and we had left, and they had moved their lemonade stand from our corner to like this other corner. And Phil was pretty pissed about it. He's like, "Oh, our corner's not good enough for you." And these like little girls are like trying to wave us down to sell us lemonade, and he's like, "No!" And he just turns and
blew
speeds
right past
away. After allowing them to have it in the corner. So, I mean, is he a good neighbor? I don't know. Jury's out.
Initially.
Not to hijack your story, but my direct neighbors had a lemonade stand a few weeks ago, and we saw them having it. And so we turned back around the house as we were leaving. We grabbed some quarters. We're like, we got to support the local business here, especially because no one drives on my street. So they are very unlikely to find any customers. And so they had lemonade and they had cookies. And so we grabbed enough, like we thought, for lemonade and cookie for both of us. And the lemonade was like 50 cents and the cookie was $1. We only brought $2. We expect like 25 cents for lemonade, 50 cents for a cookie. And we're sitting there like, we don't have that much money. And so the grandma that was with them, she's like, you know what? Just give them the cookie.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That is a shameful story.
But the kid was
You
like,
guys
yeah.
bartered with a lemonade stand.
But honestly, are you living in 1950? 25 cents for a lemonade? What?
Yeah.
It was a small little Dixie cup of some fucking Minute Maid lemonade.
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay.
This is not gourmet.
You're getting down. This is not fair market value lemonade.
I could have made this myself. Here's a lesson in business.
It just says market price next to the lemonade. Lemons aren't in season this time of year, so it's a little more.
That I would have paid extra for.
Fair enough.
Okay, so you work at a
Mega national
corporation.
corporation.
Yeah.
So there is approximately, me and my boss did the calculation, 60,000 employees.
Damn, dude.
Yes.
That's like
Pretty
a
insane.
lot.
Pretty goddamn insane.
A stadium full of people.
So on my Friday, about 1 hour before it was actually my Thursday, sorry, because I had one more day. Right before I leave, about an hour before, I get an email saying like, hey, do you have Mary Saul Curry's daughter's transcript? I'm trying to qualify her for a good student discount, which is something that we offer for people. Fairly common
Yeah.
request. So I look through my client files. I'm going, wow, there's no Mary Saul. I don't see her at all. Go back, format a new email. And as I'm typing it, I go, hold on. Let me see this too. All agents and all team members.
Oh my God. That's not even a reply all. That's just straight up to everybody.
That is a specific mailbox that is, I imagine, is only used for IT purposes. Like, hey, don't click this link, you dumb dumbs, because we're vulnerable or whatever.
Uh-huh.
This poor woman, before I could even format the email, it was like a machine gun. It was like I was on the beaches of Normandy and the Germans are shooting emails at me as I'm running up the beach. Bam, 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 bam. Who is this?
Can I guess the content of like 70% of the emails?
Please do.
They say stop replying all.
Oh my God. So bad.
Oh my God.
I am fastidious about
So
keeping
funny.
my inbox clean at work. I delete all emails that I've completed. Very anal about it.
Yeah.
As I left, it took me 1 hour. I got no work done in that hour. But as I left, I had 933 emails.
Holy shit. All saying don't reply all.
Oh, no, there was so many dumb people being like, please remove me from list.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong email. And then the really earnest, like, no, I looked really hard. Is it spelled differently?
And they're all replying all.
Trying it.
Everybody's trying it. It is absolute mayhem for an entire day. And I clock out. I'm like, you know what? Not my problem to deal with. I'll deal with it in the morning.
When it starts over again.
So I roll in the morning. All the entire drive in. I'm just like, how many? 1,000 emails? No, it's got to be more than that. 2,000 emails? I don't know. Could be more. 4,500 emails.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God.
4,500 emails in my inbox. Not actually my inbox, because you can set a rule that's just like, just delete every email that comes from this, right? But people couldn't figure that out.
Yeah.
And there was many people trying to give
Advice.
like, this is how you remove yourself. Because people are like, remove me. And everybody's like, you cannot be removed from the list. This is how you do it. And then it got so meta that I was getting like email specific memes being sent back to me. Got a lot of Liam Neeson's like, I don't know who Marisol Curry is. But I'll find those e-grades. And I'm going to attach them. Then you have these trolls that are like, she's in our office. She's in our office. And you click on it and it's a SpongeBob meme and you're like, God damn it.
That's my favorite part about that is that people on this crazy ass corporate email were starting to do memes. Did you say somebody clicked? They sent a link, and when you clicked on it, it was never going to give you up. It was
I got Rick Astley by one.
Rickrolled.
I got Rick rolled by one. I got people being like, does anybody want to go bowling in Charlotte, North Carolina tonight? It was amazing. And there was this one man, I will still remember his name, Robert Everett, who was getting so frustrated. He probably sent 45 emails back to this.
Yes.
And they all said, sent for my BlackBerry, which I was like, how?
My BlackBerry.
How are you sending emails from your BlackBerry? Because I imagine he has emails set for notification and he was just getting like stimulated by
That BlackBerry is hotter than the surface of the sun.
my God.
Too many emails, dude.
It was amazing.
Just constantly.
Robert Everett literally came like 6 times by the vibration.
He couldn't make a single phone call that night because his phone was like ran out of battery in 5 minutes.
His wife's yelling at him, God damn it, Robert, turn that phone off. I don't know how.
So the next day, I had to spend most of my morning because there was a lot of these jackasses that changed the subject line, which makes a new thread.
Oh my
If you
God.
change the subject line,
Oh
just
my
saying like,
God.
oh, please fucking stop. Please. So I have to go through and manually delete all these emails. And I found the original poster hidden in 4,500 emails. She sent a follow-up.
What did she say?
I can imagine that she's old as hell. She goes, please, everyone stop. My office has received over 1,000 phone calls today about this. This was sent in error. Please stop calling us.
Oh my gosh.
It gets even better. Our IT department that you have to call in to be like, hey, my email doesn't work. You call them up and they were not taking calls. It was just a voicemail that just said, there was an email sent in error. There is no way to remove it. Please set a rule in your Outlook to ignore these emails.
Oh my God. This really escalated much further than I expected.
It was insane. Me and my boss were like, all right, 60,000 people I got 4,500 emails. So, I mean, what percentage is
8%
that?
of people.
Exactly. What was the like total wasted productivity throughout all of State Farm over one afternoon? It's got to be like days of productivity.
But think
that they
about all the
wasted.
people just reading and not commenting either.
Also-
They're just
yeah,
they're
also
just
that.
spending their time sitting at their desk following the conversation, just enjoying it.
I mean, personally, I probably wasted 3 hours going through emails, laughing at memes.
State
and
Farm
deleting
lost
them.
millions.
Just from
my
one poor lady.
Lord.
If I was
Morale
that
went
woman,
up, I bet.
yeah. If I was that lady, I would have just been like, well,
Gonna pack my
let me
things.
just take my badge off.
I quit.
And, see you later. You guys can deal with this.
yeah, I know it's coming. So
I
yeah.
quit.
That's totally
I'm outta
happened in my office as well. And I like just opened up a spreadsheet, took track of everybody's name and counted how far they were from the CEO to give them like a number level of like what their rank was in the company.
What?
And like started graphing it based off of department and like how high of a manager they were.
Oh my
I'm gonna guess sales was through the roof.
Talk about productivity being wasted.
That was like a full day's effort.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's okay. Kevin's just only being paid an actuary salary.
This,
so
this was like 6 years
his
ago
time
before
can
I
be-
had anything important to do.
My thought on this whole debacle is that this poor woman, Marisol Curry, who's a celebrity and does not even know it, everybody's making memes about her. She should qualify for free insurance for life. We should just grandfather her in. No matter what, we'll cover you.
yeah, because of all the money she lost the company.
Well, when you
When you put it that way.
way, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not yet.
All right, Kevin, you recently tried to apply for a very special national day.
Yeah, so we had talked about it. I was listening to some older eps, and we had talked about like you went through like a bunch of national holidays,
Right.
and I have found that segment especially funny because of how much it upset Chase.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I'm getting pissed already.
Yep.
Don't get me started.
National Lick a Hot Dog Day.
Yeah. But I was like, I thought like, what if we did have a national Podworms Day, and kind of like went to check it out. And it turns out like the databases that hold these national holidays are all basically just have a corporation pay you $2,300 to I guess I should make you guess or something.
I'm gonna guess it's $2,300
$2,300,
to
$4,500.
to $4,500. Yes, it is.
Holy shit.
That's the exact range.
brilliant.
To make a national holiday for something, and I didn't have the money that I was going to put that down for Podworms, but was
Fair.
looking into it. I thought maybe we could just pick a day. Anyways, like who needs a database online to tell
Right.
us whether or not we have our own national day?
Or idea,
Yep.
we crowdsource it,
Yeah.
right? We tell people we want the money for this day. We actually just pocket it and tell them it's a specific day. They're not going to know.
No way they're gonna know.
And then we can fund the next Podworms retreat.
None of them are gonna check the databases.
Or listen to this episode.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
Part of me thinks that the federal government should just like restrict that to like 364 days a year.
Is it?
Nobody should be able to double up.
Yeah. Is it that? Yeah, that's a good point. You can only have 364. Wait. Okay. So is that just to apply, or do you just if you pay you're guaranteed a
If you
national
pay, I
holiday?
think for sure you get it. You can apply without the money.
Yeah.
But for something that's like a company or specific to like not just like a generic everyone stay healthy day, like if it's not something like that, then they generally want the money for it.
How much to like get printed on all regular calendars?
Every calendar.
That's what I want to know.
Right.
Because what's the point unless like
Calendar rights are a big deal. With
Yeah, I'm
national
sure it's a
holidays,
lot
yeah.
more than that. But I mean, there is quite a few of us, and we have, thousands and thousands of fans. So we could probably, if everybody just chipped
Easily.
in $1 or $2.
Well, I think at that level, you might have to actually write into your local representative.
If it were me and I were going to be on an actual printed calendar with actual federal holidays, I would want to be the day before President's Day is Podworms Day.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Why is that?
Easy to remember.
One better.
Oh, just one better than presidents. Well, my first thought was let's do something that's like 69, but you could do June 6th, 9th, Would that work?
June 6th, 9th.
No, I'm,
June 9th.
June
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking. No, I'm thinking about it because June 9th is 69.
Yeah, that's a
Right?
pretty good one.
I mean, that's good. It's better than 420 because 420, I think, is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's Hitler's birthday.
We'd get overshadowed.
I've
for
heard
sure.
that. I've never verified that fact, but
We should do December 34th.
I think so, too.
4.
Oh, dude, hell yeah.
Perfect.
I mean, okay, so I think front runner, in my mind, is June 9th, 69.
That's perfect.
But what kind of activities could we recommend that people do to celebrate National Podworms Day? I'm thinking the first thing off the top of my head is a sous vide.
a sous vide grill and bake with, worm charming.
Oh,
Worm
yeah,
charming.
Worm charming.
squirm competition.
It's got to be in the park, right?
Yeah, it's in the park. Everyone gathers in your local park. Some people bring sous vide. Some people bring ovens for baking. Some people bring grills.
I just had the brightest light bulb pop over my head.
Oh, let's hear it.
This is a
saw it.
$1 billion idea.
Let's hear it.
We make a Podworms home game. We take all of the best bits from all the Podworms episodes and we put it in a box so that you can play all the favorite Podworms games on Podworms Day. So you'd have like Mad Takes, for example. You'd have
Danger Island.
Sports game, Danger Island. You would have the music game we just played.
Amazing.
NSRG, right? And so you just give them all the games from the pod, and then we can have like, that taboo buzzer thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We can give them one of those, except when they press it, it says a quote from somebody on the show.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Right.
Or it goes, keep squirming.
Okay, that's even better, but just in a very poor quality. Like it's
Yeah,
very
like
blown out.
staticky and
It
terrible.
sounds 8-bit.
So you hold your own local grill and bake and sous vide. You get the Podworms home game.
Mm-hmm.
You have a squirming competition. What else? I mean, how else can you celebrate this glorious day? I think you have to get very high in honor of.
Yeah, you definitely have to get stoned for sure. Or some people get whoever wants to get stoned, but there's definitely a place to get stoned or stupid for sure.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
A place to get stoned and stupid, maybe, huh?
Maybe a construction site.
Oh my gosh! Yes, all the proceeds go to local construction.
Wait,
maybe I don't know.
What if you have like a photo booth set up, right? But the backdrop is a construction site and all the props is like a hard hat, a vest, tool belts.
Perfect. Or like it's a backdrop of just all of us, and you get to stand in the middle.
And the signs, like there's like funny signs that hold it to I'm with him. It would say like teleconstruction worker.
I want 4 different construction hats. One that says family, one that says friends, one that says fans, and then of course the last one says fuckers.
Right.
Yeah, that's perfect.
This is so good.
I think we should definitely workshop this. Maybe do a little prototype this year, and then move on to the national market after we establish that it's sustainable.
So this is like the MVP, the minimum viable product.
And we would have to make this and put it on Kickstarter.
Yes.
for people to back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What would the different reward levels be for that?
The new tube level, the Zen egg level.
Hell yeah. I think the top one has to be like $1,000 or more. And
Oh, definitely.
I think we would fly you out, get you on an episode, and you get to host.
And also, you get to go out on a date with all of us all at once.
Hell yeah. And we will be on Extends the whole night
Nice.
to make sure you're having the best possible
That
experience.
sounds great.
Okay. Well,
I
so
would pay $1,000. for
let's
that.
start with the trial run. If it goes well, which I'm assuming it will, we'll take it to Kickstarter. Assuming that goes well, it will. National level, we put it in front of the president on the president's desk.
And
He
say,
approves it.
Donald,
Don, baby.
baby, boy, do we have a deal for you.
People are going to love this. And then the next thing you know, every calendar you open up to June 9th and boom,
It's the biggest holiday.
National Podworms Day.
I was doing a little bit of market research. I had some friends in from France actually last week, and I told them that I was on a podcast, and they said, "Whoa, great!" And I recently got a Facebook message from my friend Juba from Paris. Shout out Juba. And he said he
Juba.
really enjoyed our podcast, But I spent a week with Juba, and he does not speak great English, so I'm sure that was just politeness.
Just lost in translation.
It just goes to show that the Podworms
It transcends
podcast,
language.
it transcends language. It knows no bounds.
You know, you don't have to know English to squirm.
yeah.
No, definitely
It's
not.
a feeling. It's an
It
emotion.
is a feeling. Yeah.
You got to keep this Juba guy close by. He's your ride or die.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah.
It just goes to show how international we are. Again,
Yeah.
South Africa.
Oh yeah. Our fan base spans
France.
the whole continent, yes, but planet.
The whole globe.
Right. Let's end this episode with a game that I think some fans are pretty big fans of. It's the sports game.
Ooh, yeah.
The way that this works is that in games past, I would find funny, real names of people who play sports and also throw in some of my own. And you'd have to figure out if this is the name of a real person or a fake person. But recently, I almost didn't have anything to write for this podcast today because I've spent the last week straight playing World of Warcraft. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but World of Warcraft released a classic version of their game, which is effectively the game that I spent over 2 years of actual in-game time playing as a teenager,
Damn.
which is the reason I was never in sports, the reason that you guys are my only friends and still remain my only friends.
2 actual years of in-game time.
Right,
Really?
Right. Yeah. When you play, like, you type /played and it only counts the time where you're logged in. And on one character, I had over 2 years of played time.
That was just on one character?
Yeah.
Wait, one character.
Oh my lordy lord.
All
How
right, Dan,
many-
you can cut that out.
How many hours? How many hours is that? Are you doing the math?
17,520 hours.
My God,
And
Andrew.
I wasn't even the best player out there. Far from it.
Were you at least top 100?
No, not even close. But so
2
Dude,
years.
you could be a concert violinist with that same amount of time.
I could be anything right now.
You could be
I
you could be solving Newtonian physics.
Let me just say the only reason I'm sitting in this fucking basement with you three fucks is because I wasted over 2 years of my life playing a video game
That's the only reason.
when I
for
should have
sure.
been studying or doing anything else.
That's the only reason.
Like, if you slept 8 hours a night, right? Which most people do,
right.
it would take 6 years to get that much playtime.
6 years. So what is that? Middle school and high school put together. Yeah, that checks out.
Adds up.
Oh my.
So here's what I've done. I don't think any of you guys in this room are World of Warcraft fans, which I'm hoping you're not, because I've got some names of some World of Warcraft characters
I never touched the stuff.
and some of my own characters I've thrown in here. And I want you to tell me which of these characters are really from the World of Warcraft game and which one I made up.
What you're saying is sports games kind of a stretch for this one.
I mean, sports game is just really the anchor.
This is Andrew Sports.
Yes.
I don't know. Have you spent 2 years on one sport?
I have spent 5,000 hours on Counter-Strike Go, which I thought was absurd.
Laughable. That's laughable.
That's a lot.
That's nothing, dude.
That's
Yeah.
well. That's. I mean, you're. What was it? 17,000
Counter-Strike
for
Go?
2 years.
Yeah.
What's the Go version?
So you're getting pretty quick.
Like, get off your ass and play Counter-Strike, aka the most recent one.
It's global offensive.
It's globally offensive to people. Everyone's upset about it.
Sorry. So feel free to share your reasoning here. The first character that may or may not be from the World of Warcraft franchise, Millhouse Manastorm.
I'm gonna go yes. That is a Warcraft character because I think Manastorm is probably like a weird Warcraft family name, like House of Magic, and Millhouse was probably like the developers going like, you seen The Simpsons?
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I agree with Phil.
What kind of character? Okay, you agree he's real? Okay.
I think it's fake just because of The Simpsons.
I think he's a scrawny summoner. Is a character type.
Yeah, he's like a dumb, stupid, skinny mage.
Can you imagine like naming a character Millhouse outside of The Simpsons and like taking it seriously? I hope I'm wrong, but I also think I'm right.
That's a good
That's
point.
fake.
I'm still with Phil.
I can imagine it because it is a real character from the World of Warcraft universe, and you are surprisingly close. He's like a bumbling gnome mage.
Oh my God!
I should work for
Spot on.
Blizzard.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Spot on.
Where if I remember correctly, he basically fucks up. He summons a demon and gets killed. So you're exactly right.
The next character, Homer Bartholomew.
Yeah. Next character, Lil Timmy.
Andrew all the way.
Lil Timmy.
Andrew all the way.
Yeah, that's definitely you.
Yeah, it's fake.
You think Lil Timmy's fake?
Yeah.
Lil Timmy, real character from World of
What?
Warcraft.
Little Timmy.
What is little Timmy?
In fact, there's a weapon called Lil Timmy's pea shooter. It's a shotgun.
My God.
Yeah, it's a real character. He's like a little kid from he walks around the city called Stormwind. He's a little human child. He walked around with a cat.
And maybe it was like a really aggressive Make-A-Wish Foundation child that they were like, we'll put you in the game. What do you want? A shotgun. Oh, Jesus. All right. Well,
wow,
I guess
little
we can
Timmy,
put
that's
that
a,
in.
that's a little much, huh?
Lil Timmy's pea shooter. All right. Next up,
Little
Barry Goldman. Barry Goldman.
I think Barry Goldman you made up because that sounds like something that is the opposite of fantastical, which, you know, kind of is like a wow thing.
So,
But let me
his full
remind
name
you-
would be Bartholomew Goldman. That sounds like a little bit too Jewish to put into
Very
like a corporate game. So I'm going to go with Andrew.
yeah, I think you made this one up.
I'm also going to say it's fake, but just because I've been wrong twice on that, and I'm going to stick with it because I think eventually I'll be right. It's by saying you made up something.
Okay. Well, let me remind you that there's elves, there's orcs, but there's also human characters in this game. And Barry Goldman is something I made up.
Yeah.
One.
Were you a trader in the game?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was a hunter.
A banker? No.
No. Next character.
Barry Goldman.
Malfurion Storm Rage.
Just because of the way you
Okay.
said it, I think you made this one up.
I think this is your first character you ever made. When you're like, I need something that defines me in the world of Warcraft.
You're like 11.
I'm like, I'm so evil. So like Mal, like that's bad. Furion sounds like a Pokemon. And then what was it?
Storm Rage.
Storm Rage. Yeah,
It
that's
is
you.
trying pretty hard, so I'm going to get and say you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I say you as well.
This is a real character from
Damn
the lore.
it.
Really?
He's a very powerful druid, night elf druid character. He's like the strongest druid, basically.
So basically, what this tells me is there's just literally no theme. Because if you can go from Malfurion Storm Rage to Little Timmy.
But you have to remember, Little Timmy's just like a little kid walking around the town. Malfurion Storm Rage is one of the most strong characters in
There's
the
the
lore.
whole world of Warcraft. Okay.
Can you imagine being at that school though? You're like Malfurion, Dyspneptuscosis, Timmy.
I mean, it takes all kinds. All right, next up, Yogg Saron with a apostrophe in there.
Yogg Saron sounds like a Jedi from a very obscure Star
Yogg.
Wars book.
Yogg Saron.
Yeah, actually, he really does. That's a really good description. I want to say that this one's a real one, but for some reason it feels like maybe you made it up. But I'm gonna say real because it sounds real.
I'm going to go real too. But I imagine that this will be the one that I get wrong when I switch.
This one is real.
Oh baby!
All right.
He is one of the old gods. So he's like this ancient being who controls all the darkness. He's like a squid creature thing.
It's like the son of the
Whoa,
great
dude.
Gokpanok.
He's he's kind of like a Cthulhu kind of character. Something like that vibe.
Amazing.
All right, next up. Similar vein, Yelik Maballs. There's an apostrophe in this one as well.
Really?
Yes, after Yelik. Yelik Maballs.
This is a real toughie. Do we get lifelines in this game or no?
No.
No, okay.
No, I'm afraid not.
Yelik.
No,
Yelik
Mubballs.
Maballs.
That's a family name in Warcraft, right?
Well, let me remind you, Yogg Saron.
Fair enough.
These all sound pretty crazy.
Bubbles.
Yeah, I'm going to go fake because I know the real character's name is I lick my own balls.
Okay, I like your assessment. Chase?
I'm gonna go real because if it's real, I would love that.
Okay. Phil?
You know, you lick my balls. It's a toughie.
Yelik.
I could see how they would really want to print that name right on the cover of the game, but I think it might be you.
I made this one up. That was me. That was me.
Oh,
You
don't
rascal.
Say, you don't say.
That was me. All right, next up. Cookie. Cookie.
Real.
Cookie.
Real.
Yeah, real
I'm gonna
also.
go real.
What is Cookie?
She's a homely baker of fantastical pies. Maybe like elfberry pie or something like that.
No, Cookie is
The Dragon King.
the baker's cat.
Oh, I like that better.
Yeah.
I'm on Baker's Cat now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the baker eats cats.
Is there bakers in the World of Warcraft?
Yes, there
There's
are.
time for baking
that a
in the World of
profession?
Warcraft?
Cooking is a profession. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yep. You can even cook a chicken.
But not a
ro-
cookie.
Oh, what, like a
rotisserie
whole
chicken.
chicken? Rotisserie chicken? Wow, that's
Yep.
amazing.
It's a craft of war.
Yep. So you also think this is real, Kevin?
Yeah, why the fuck not?
All right. Cookie is real.
Yes.
And Cookie is a murloc, which is like a fish creature.
Oh?
And he is the chef on a ship.
Oh shit.
He is the ship's chef, Cookie.
So he's a water being,
Yes.
but he resides on a ship
Yes.
for unknown reasons.
yes.
And his name is Cookie.
I mean, that way you can be near people, but also near water.
And he also does not give a fuck if the ship goes down because he's like, well, I'll just swim home, I
yeah,
guess.
I'm a fish creature.
Badass.
No big deal.
All right. Next up, we have two more. Elling Tyrus, the master of cheese.
I feel like this
Nobody
is,
else had a title.
I feel like this is right. I feel like this is real also. I feel like if cooking is a thing in the World of Warcraft, if people have time for cooking, they have time for cheese. And, I feel like someone's got to be the master of cheese in this world.
Okay.
If it was like cheesing bosses, then I'd be for it. But I'm going to go fake on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to go fake.
This one's real.
Yes.
He's real. Yeah. He hangs around Stormwind and he's integral to the whole town. I mean, he's the master of cheese. Come on.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
He supplies all the cheese.
You need a guy like that.
Of course, if I wanted cheese, I would go to Stormwind. I guess I didn't think of it.
Yeah, you got all this Warcraft going on. You need to have some cheese every once in a while. You
Well-
gotta take a break.
One of the first items that you can get to actually heal your health is Stormwind Brie, which is provided by the master of cheese. Duh.
Amazing.
All right. Last. Dark Lord Roger.
I think this is one you made up.
Dark Lord Roger.
I hope that this is one you made up.
This has to be made up because Roger has no place in fantasy, the name Roger.
And also, no one. Dark Lord is just like.
Dark Lord. Roger.
But that's what makes him so unassuming. I'm not giving you an answer, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, you made this one up for sure.
I'm going to say made up as well.
Phil.
oh, that's made up for sure.
Yeah, this one is.
Yeah.
Dark Lord Roger.
I mean, you guys were really on the nose for a handful, like just a few of them, right?
Yeah.
But some not so much. Overall, I'd give you a B plus. Pretty
Great.
good, pretty good sports game.
All right.
Thanks.
If you have your own World of Warcraft sports game characters, please let me know. POEspacecast@gmail.com. Or if you want to level to 60 with me, feel free to write in.
Nice.
You can follow all of our social media, Podworm Spacecast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you like this show, you must share it. I command you. Share it with a friend, a family member, coworkers, a construction worker, or anyone of your choosing. I will not be there to follow up on this. It is the honor system. And until next time, keep
Squirting.